welcome to the last McLaren Fans podcast of the season. We're doing something a little bit different this week, simply because it is a McLaren Fans podcast, so nice to have some fans on. And, we've had a few on during the season, but we thought, well, it's the last podcast of the season. Why don't we get quite a few of you on and have a chat with you guys and see what your highlights have been of the season, and what some of the lows have been, even if you've had some sort of personal highlights, or I do know one of two you went to the MTC, maybe won competitions, maybe met other fans at Grand Prix and things like that. So we want to kind of know. So joining me as always this week though is Andy. Say hello, Andy.
Hello, everyone.
Yep. And unfortunately, Sarah's not very well this week, so she can't join us. But she has told us to buy all of her key rings. So there's the obligatory plug. We'll put a tweet out later for all that. So I guess where we started this from sort of thinking is that me and Andy, we both kind of put together a list. Sarah did as well. Unfortunately, she can't be here. Of like 5 highs and lows of the season. And it would be interesting to see if we managed to tick off all of the ones on our lists, speaking to everyone else. So I'm just going to ask you, Andy, what was your main highlight of this season then?
Oh, just one. Literally just one.
Just the one. Just pick one to start with. We'll go through.
I'm going to go with Oscar. In total, and genuinely halfway through the season, I forgot he was a rookie.
I thought you were going to say you forgot he was driving for us there. But, it would have been pretty impossible, wouldn't it? So,
for a man to face up to what he is able to do, and that, like, even getting into F1, that challenge and the way he handled that. There was one moment where he's been interviewed after qualifying, and he's just been his front three position taken off him, and all he says is, "Brilliant." Like, he's not playing around with it. He's not trying to be superlative. He's not trying to be anything. He's just confident in what he's going to do, and I love it. I think he's brilliant.
Excellent. So any of you guys out there want to have a chat? Anyone else? Oscar being your.
Just while you're waiting for that, then I completely agree, Andy. Oscar's been fantastic. You wouldn't know he was a rookie this year. His performance, he's calm under pressure. I don't know if anybody else has done it and looked at him and Bruce McLaren. I mean, it's like they're related. The image is it's like it's reincarnated. It's fantastic.
I've seen that as well. I think. You could easily put him in one of those 60s race suits, couldn't you? And kind of see it from there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I had Oscar too as mine. No, but that's good because, but it was kind of like it was like the arrival, wasn't it? Sort of around Spa, around that sort of time, the sprint race, yes, the conditions and all the rest of it. But then, to properly back it up in Qatar with everything he did, so young, so talented, aren't we lucky?
Yeah.
Go on, Andy. I was going to say exactly the same with Oscar. I mean, I didn't watch him in Formula 2, so I haven't watched him come through there. But to think that he was a rookie and where he's ended up now. But I want to know, do you think Lando thought Oscar was going to be where he is now? Do you think he was going to be a challenge for him this season?
I think Andy can answer that.
Andy Webb or Andy Tails?
Or you, maybe?
I think anyone coming in on their debut season, you kind of assume they're going to be finding their ropes, especially if they've gone to like 20 tracks. He's only done like 10 of them before. But Lewis Hamilton on his debut season for McLaren, he did all right. He was a massive challenge for Alonso. the same kind of. I think Lando has got on really well. From what we see, Lando's got on really well with him, and I think it's actually teammates rather than team rivals.
I think he's pushed Lando a bit. I think Lando's got a bit of a surprise, and kind of.
I think he needed it. I think past couple of years he's not really had a challenge to push him.
Yeah,
and now you saw when Oscar came through when they got all the updates came through. When he started performing, Lando was a bit. Whoa, hang on, that's sort of blindsided him a bit, and then Lando's performance after that was just on it, and it's that push he needed to just keep driving it forward. I think it's really good dynamic.
It definitely stepped up another level for me. I kind of hope that next year Oscar's a bit more wiser and can push on again. And we're lucky we've then got two outstanding drivers who I both think can win races, which is what we want. We just got to give them the car to do it. That's pretty much it. So I guess that leads us into one of my highlights for the season, the turnaround. So I went and had a listen back to one of our earlier podcasts this season, and I kind of said we would be lucky to get a podium this season. Maybe we'd get some next year. This is after Bahrain. Andy was discussing Zach's letter, where he was saying it was right for Zach to tell us to have a bit of a, downplaying the expectations of us doing anything this year. And Sarah mentioned that, well, it's bad, but at least it's not the Honda years. So, from a start like that to then what we've seen, and even I didn't expect after Austria for us to be so strong in the final bit of the season. I think we can all be pretty chuffed. It's very positive finish to the year. I hope we can continue it on to next year. Feel that with Andrea Stella in charge, we've got somebody who's got a strong hand on everything, quite a strong handle on what's going to happen. I think we're in a great place. I feel very positive about it all. So there you go. I'm being positive about stuff, including pit stops. Fastest pit stop this year. Don't get a bloody award at DHL, though, do we? Anyway,
No.
that's another rant for another day. Anyone want to add to that?
Yeah.
Jump in.
I did a similar thing. I went back to one of your previous podcasts, but it was the one where we got double points.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was, or I say everyone, I think it was 3 or 4 of you. You were all over the moon. We were all over the moon. We'd had such a bad start to the season. We were like, double points, right? And I don't know if you meant to do a podcast then or not. I can't remember. But everyone was ecstatic, thinking, oh, we've got there now. The season's not going to be a disaster. And then look what happened after that. So.
It was a huge mark as well. I am interested what Andy Webb's moment of the season was, and I think I might have a suspicion, judging by the top he's wearing.
You know me, I like to talk, but I don't want to be too involved in this. I love to come on here and see what other people are saying. And Andy, you nicked my highlight of the season. Because as much as everything else that's gone on this season, my highlight wasn't going to be Silverstone, Andy, although, it's pretty up there, but it was the team. The team is my highlight this year. The actual turnaround and the hard work it took to make those upgrades and make them work, to me, blew me away. And I know we had a lot of conversations actually in and around that part of the season, and about don't be too optimistic. The upgrades are going to become slowly. They're not going to be all coming at once. They're not going to be blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of stuff done with some of the engineers and stuff about how far back they were started, believe it or not. And we weren't quite right at the beginning of the season. But to stick with a game plan, and I know we lost a few key team members at the beginning of the season, if you remember, but for them to actually carry forward under Andreas's management was just mind-blowing. How an engineering team can be that, we're going to do this, we're going to try this, this is the way we've been going, forget the testing car, but this is the direction we're going. And have the belief to stick with it and look at the rewards. And so many people are talking about the drivers. And I don't think, honestly, without the teams and the aeros work and the engineers, we'd never have got to that stage. And for me, as a huge fan of the team are my number one this year. They did it. And to me, makes me super happy as a fan. What about you guys? I'm seriously brilliant.
Yeah. I think, I can't argue with that. It's very passionate there, and I think most pretty much everybody here is going to agree with you 100% on that.
Good.
Just so we get around everybody. Go on, Simon. You got your hand up.
Just on what Andy was saying there, I saw an interview with Zach on LinkedIn with Fortune, and he was saying about when he came in, he was sort of recovering the team of having 5 or 6 different team leaders in the sort of previous sort of 7 or 8 years, and then doing the rebuild, and all that has led up to exactly what you said there, Andy. When you've got, and I think we were all probably thinking what was going to happen when Andrea stepped up, to take on that mantle. But absolutely, the whole team just galvanised and really pushed forward. It's been a fantastic effort, and then really good to see on like social media where they've highlighted that, and you've got decent messages from the teams and really sort of celebrating that as a team. It's been fantastic. Really, really good. Just on that bit, my highlight of the season was the Hungarian podium, because just that cheek of Norris being up there and not really caring what he was doing and smashing a gorgeous trophy, which Max had enough, to be honest. He didn't need that one, so that was great for me. And my wife can't be on this one. Her highlight was Mexico, for Norris's performance, just tearing through the field.
All right. Anyone else got a highlight to add? Stick your hand up. Jenny, I don't think we've heard from you yet. Andy, we'll get to you in a second.
Yeah, my highlight is a whole weekend. I was privileged this year to actually get to Suzuka.
Nice.
I walked in through the entrance, saw the big wheel, and I'm not lying, there were tears in my eyes. I was just like, I can't believe I'm here. It was just unbelievable. And what the team did that weekend was just the absolute icing on the cake. Seeing Oscar Q2, on the Sunday we got away from Lando in the drivers' parade because we were the only ones with a lovely papaya flag behind us. So he spotted us, he gave us a wave. We were sat just by the S's, so we could see across the pit lane. We could see all the way around, like the first corner, and coming all the way up towards us, and then off into the distance. We had a great view. And seeing those 2 cars come around that corner, second and third, oh my days, I don't think I stopped screaming from the start of the race to the end of the race. It's unbelievable. Never been as stressed in my life, I'll be honest, but never been as excited in my life. And seeing them come across that line, second and third, Oscar's first podium, first 1-2 for I don't know how long, first double podium for I don't know how long, it was amazing. I mean, Suzuka itself, unbelievable, but the team definitely put the icing on the cake for that weekend for me.
Excellent. I've been to Japan myself, and it's a brilliant track. I know exactly what you mean. I've got to ask you one question. What was the weirdest F1 merchandise you could find out there? I found biscuits that were made of meant to be made of
we got
tarmac.
all sorts of stuff. We brought loads. It's all gone now. We brought loads of stuff home. Biscuits that were like sand while out with all sorts of different things. Yeah, there was loads and loads of F1 like food that we could bring home with us. Yeah, we brought quite a lot. It filled our bags on the way home. Yeah, and not that expensive either. That's what surprised me. No real markups around the circuit. So.
Right, so you definitely recommend Japan then. Excellent.
Oh, honestly, yeah, 100% fabulous. Yeah.
Andy Tails, what about you?
Yeah, so I want to kind of pick two things really, be a bit cheeky, but one of them is going to be on track, and the second one is kind of more kind of a personal off track thing. So the on track one was Lando taking the lead at Silverstone, absolutely amazing. I was there at the track watching live, and just the atmosphere, everyone's so happy, just British driver at the British Grand Prix taking the lead, massive cheers everywhere, and Andy really wants to stick something in.
I want to ask you, when was the last time you saw a McLaren car in real life leading a race?
I'm pretty sure it's the first time ever.
Yeah, it's a long time since any of us have got to see, unless we were at Imola with Danny Rick, see a McLaren car in the lead of a race. And did you feel nervous when you saw us in the lead?
No? I'm supposed to be nervous?
No, but it wasn't a lucky lead. It wasn't as if like we'd randomly got into the lead and we weren't going to stick there. We were there for a good 10, 15 laps.
Yeah, I was expecting Max to get back past as soon as he got DRS on lap 3. But yeah, we held on. Lando held on for quite a lot longer. I was really, really happy at that point. It actually felt we had a genuine chance of winning. I mean, didn't quite pan out that way, but still, it was an incredible result, and incredible to see. McLaren leading genuinely. It wasn't other people had pitted and were last to pit or anything. It was genuinely leading the race. So fantastic. Really enjoyed that bit. And then the kind of personal one was I took my kids to get their first selfie at the MTC with the MTC sign, and it was just after Qatar, so it was lit up in papaya. To celebrate Oscar's sprint win and the double podium in the Grand Prix. So that was kind of really good. So 2 future McLaren fans, hopefully.
Excellent work. That's what we like to see.
I am still trying to do that with my son. You know what? I've been up there. So I actually live on the outskirts of Surrey, so it's really not that far from me at all. I used to drive past it every day when I worked in the area, which is brilliant. But yeah, I've been trying to do it for ages, and both times I've gone, it's been absolutely stonking down with rain, and it's like you can't. It's been so yeah, third time lucky maybe.
Well, hopefully we'll win next season, and we can all go and meet up there, have a big party on the bit of grass on the stairs, have a bit of a picnic in front of the McLaren sign. That would be good fun.
Especially as we all park in the big bit that says "Do not park here."
Yes. Yeah. Anyone else got anything to add? Gemma, we've not really heard much from you yet. Go for it.
I mean, it's going to be like a personal one because I've mentioned Oscar. A week ago today, I was at the MTC, which was absolutely amazing. It blew my. I don't know what I went in to expect, but it was completely mind blowing. The fact that I was the only woman there in the group. I was the only one in McLaren merch as well. Everyone else, because I won mine through Goodwood, and it was just a load of old, rich white men. They had the money, and they didn't. I think they were there just for the cars. They were not answering questions about F1. I was the one answering them, and just to go around like the boulevards. I mean, Lewis's car was like not there. Some of the other cars were not there as well, and even to go into mission control, and the tour guide was saying how calm it is in there, and he's saying he was there in Russia when Lando spun out of the lead, and he went, no one said a word. They were so calm. They got on the pit wall. They were doing the strategy, and it's just amazing to hear those kind of stories as well. But yeah, it's definitely a personal highlight, and hopefully to go again. But I'm hoping other people get the chance first because it is a once in a lifetime opportunity to go.
Yeah, I think there's a few of us have been lucky to go, and it's always good to see fans getting their first chance to go. You kind of almost go back to the first time you went, and you were like so excited. It's like it's akin to having that, opening that big box on Christmas morning, and it actually turns out after 47 years, Mum, of asking for a ski electric, you get one. That kind of thing. It's, I was super happy for you, Jem. It was really good to see. And I bet as you sit there at work every day or something like that, every now and then something will pop in your head and go, oh, I remember that, or remember that, or remember seeing that trophy, or, yeah. And it never gets old. On the MTC.
Gemma, is there any bit of advice you'd give to anyone that's been lucky enough to go to the MTC? Is there any one tip you'd say, make sure you do this, or make sure you have a look at this?
I would say take it all in, because I went through the doors and obviously you walk onto the boulevard, and I was just kind of like, I just stood there, and you don't know where to look first. And it's just, I did quite a few laps of the boulevard, like looking at each car, each and again, just soak it all in, and just, listen to the tour guide and just soak the history, because there's so much history there that some of us don't even know about it. But yeah, just take a moment, have a look around, and just think how lucky, you are to be there. And, many people, like many of the fellow drivers, have been there before us, and just think what has gone on in that MTC. So yeah, just take it all in, soak up the moment, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Anyone else got anything to add, or I'm going to move on to something else that we've got on our list of highs this year, which is liveries. Which is, I think we had 3 or 4 this year, Andy. I can't remember. Is it 4?
4. One really subtle one, very late, but it was still very nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure I saw a graphic of 6 different liveries we've had this year on Twitter.
Right.
I'm seeing some other agreement.
6. Right. Okay.
Yeah, 6.
Right. Name them.
Even better.
Yeah. Do you want me to try? I'll try.
Give it a go. Give it a go.
Okay. So we got the normal livery.
Yeah.
We had Chrome for Silverstone.
Yeah.
We had the OKX livery for Singapore.
Yeah.
Had Jack Daniels for one of the American races.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Vegas.
Now I'm struggling.
Triple Crown.
Triple Crown from Monaco.
Triple Crown.
And then the last one, the Views one.
Yeah.
Right
Given
there.
by
Abu
chance.
Dhabi, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So next year
That's it.
we'll obviously have a monster livery, won't we?
I can't wait.
This all started with the Gulf livery a few years ago, didn't it? As one-offs, and I think this is possibly why we're attracting quite a lot of sponsors now as well, because to get a one-off livery for a race.
Did you mention the Triple Crown livery?
Yeah, we got that one, Monaco,
You
wasn't it?
mentioned that one.
Yeah. So we got I thought the Silverstone Chrome one was amazing. That was my personal favorite. Seeing it actually there, you could see it in the store as a show car when you were there, but actually seeing it out on track and everything else, I thought it looked amazing. I'd like to see a bit more Chrome coming back on the car next year, maybe after that. Who knows? But to do that and partner with obviously Google Chrome as well, I thought was marketing genius there at that point. So I'm quite intrigued to see what we might come up with next year. Did anyone have a particular favourite out of the 6?
Triple Crown for me,
Triple
because
Crown.
I loved the tie-in with the IndyCar, and I loved the 3 cars that they ran and how the 2 disciplines tied together.
It's a very good point. Yeah, it wasn't just across F1, was it? It was across the IndyCar weekend as well, and everything else. So yeah, good shout. Anyone else? What, Andy?
Yes, I really like the Chrome. Being at Silverstone, it was the one I was there to see, so that gets a high score. But yeah, it made some very nice photos with the reflections and shininess, and Lando's helmet as well, with the full-on Chrome helmet with the Google Chrome logo on top. Got a few nice photos of that, so that was pretty cool.
The OKX livery really popped on circuit as well. It looked amazing, out on circuit. It looked fabulous.
Got it as your background, haven't you? Because
Picture behind me.
yeah, it's the OKX stealth. So they I don't know how much they must have paid, but they removed a lot of other people's sponsors on the wings and stuff, and then it made it. Yeah, it's lovely. Just very simple but stunning.
I think we're going to see more of those sort of things, aren't we? So, yeah, long may that continue. I do love a good livery.
We had the Formula E had the AI designed livery this year, that at London, and that was cool. That was a very nice livery. I enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, and yeah, Formula E was quite a good thing this year. There was a bit of a meet up. I believe there's quite a few of us maybe going next year as well, which would be good.
Yep.
So see if we can all get a bit of a papaya party going there as well.
Yeah, I was tempted to bring that up as another highlight of this season, is meeting up with lots of you lot who are here at the Formula E. It was fantastic.
You're right. It was on my list of top fives. It's Silverstone's great, but Silverstone's very, very busy. Whereas Formula E, you could walk around and literally, Andy, I bumped into you a few times, literally just going up to the stairs, because there's only, I don't know, 10,000 people there. I'm having a complete number out of the sky there. I don't know. You can actually see people.
Might even be less than that. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's not too many.
It's not hundreds of thousands at all. I think I've plucked a complete number there. I really have. There might even be 1,000, but yeah, it's a brilliant fun, and like tickets went on sale this year and bang on straight in there, straight onto the grandstands.
But you could spot a McLaren fan a mile off. The papaya just stood out in the crowd. I'm sure I got like kind of papped a few times by a few people and put on, oh, there's Denali sat there. But yeah, certainly. Formula E was good. So let's move on to another one. So, fourth in the championship. I think that's, if you'd given me that at the beginning of the season, I'd have taken your hands off. I'd have been, like going Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, us. Aston Martin with a big surprise. And actually, it's been interesting to see their lack of progress whilst ours has gone in the other direction. And I don't know whether that's to do with them getting sold or being up for sale or whatever the takeover or something like that. But certainly, I kind of thought, right, we've got a chance of getting fourth. We might not make it. They were so far ahead at one point. And I thought, Alonso's he's a great driver. He's going to pull in some points. Every now and then Stroll would put in a decent race and get some points. But what I would say, and this is, I know there's some of you guys are big Dan fans out there, and I do like Danny Rick, but I don't think he ever suited our car. I think Oscar does. And if you look at the points balance, it's pretty well even balanced enough to kind of go, they've both scored pretty good points. And I think that's the thing. It's like we almost go full circle at the back of the podcast. It's a team effort there. But you've got to have two drivers scoring points to do well in the championship, and I think that's what we've had this year. I think that's a real high. I think that's a real positive. So yeah, anyone want to add to that? Go for it, Andy.
No, just personally about the points thing. I actually feel at times I still think we've been unlucky as well. And there was a point I was doing mathematical computations. I thought we'd catch Ferrari here. We were at 80 points light of them at some point. And Lando's been slightly unlucky, and for the George Russell accident, which gave him the podium. All of those things, you just go, has he been lucky or unlucky? Whereas Oscar, I think, has warranted his entire points this year. Every time he's earned the points, his defending has been unbelievable. How good his defending has been. So I think we could have done even better, but for a bit of luck. And I suppose I was going to say it later in the podcast, but my star of the season was Alonso, and it's not his.
He doesn't drive for us anymore, right? I know he's driven for us twice before, but he's not there anymore, right?
I've still got my Kamoa hat over there. He's still a mate of mine. But again, had it not been for Alonso's prowess and how good a driver he is, we could have got more points at the beginning of the season, I feel. So actually, I feel fourth was not only justified, but we could have bettered it. We could have bettered it.
And knowing how well we did this year, and knowing how we know nothing about 2024, we've got an evolution of a car. We don't know how much we've developed it, how much other people have developed it. We're going to do a quick round robin of one sentence, what you think next year might entail. You don't have to say a position in the championship, just something that you think next year may entail. To make life really hard, Andy D is going to go last. So he's got to copy something fresh out of everyone.
I'm just going to say there's a potential that I might clip it and play it back next year if it goes hilariously right or hilariously wrong. So
I am going to go for Oscar's first win.
Right.
Andy T.
Oh, in that case, I'll take Lando's first win.
Yes. Jenny Gordon.
I was just going to say win a race.
Corin.
2-team championship battle.
Oh, nice. Simon.
I would say constructors P2.
Amy.
Oh, I want to reverse jinx and say 0 points. But no, consistent podiums.
Consistent's nice. Yeah. Andy W.
Silverstone win.
Huge. Gemma.
I think we're going to have our Lando's first win, and then Oscar's going to come second, and then I'm going to go P3 in the constructors.
Wait, happy days. Andy D. Something completely original. No one said so far.
Yeah. At some point in the season, we will lead the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship.
Oh, I hope you're right.
You just made me shiver.
Maybe at the end of the season, right at the end of the season. That'll be
Right at the end of the season would be great, but I'm suspecting it might be 2 races in or something like that.
Take it. I'd take it all day long. It means we've won.
Do we think then it's going to be more than a 2-horse race then? Do we honestly think that Mercedes will catch up fast enough? And I'd love it to just be us and Red Bull. I would. But do we think Mercedes and Ferrari can keep up? There's the word, keep up.
I think Ferrari need to invest in strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been their own worst enemy this season.
Yeah.
Ferrari don't do something different. They're only going down, not up.
I mean, to be fair, their drivers have done better strategy than the strategists this year.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah, I think you're looking at maybe even four teams could win a race next season. Red Bull, us, Mercedes. So, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's a good place to finish this podcast. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Really enjoyed it. First time we've done this with so many fans. I think we might have another go next year at the beginning of the season, maybe after testing. And all maybe come back on and give us your opinions then, see whether we're sitting there going, oh, it's the Honda years, or we're sitting there going, it's the Honda years, but with Senna, and seeing what the difference is. So I'll wrap it up there, and I'll say thanks to everybody that's listened this year. We've really enjoyed doing them. It's been great to meet so many people out and about. We want to make it a lot better next year as well. So any ideas you've got of what you'd like to do, we'll look at doing that. But also just, enjoy the break. The team will. We will. We might have something back after testing. We'll see. But stay tuned. And once again, thanks for listening. And thanks to all of you joining us. It's been really grand. Thank you.